Bodine here. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome aboard. Last video, pretty good. Gave some updates about how to take care of things, getting debt paid off, retirement. This channel's about 60 plus life. And I'll tell you what, a lot of you have been talking, you don't have to be 60 plus to be there to get towards retirement and worry about controlling your debt and just being free financially and just not in the workforce the way they want you to be today, like a prisoner almost in the workforce. Trying to find jobs and going through it is very tough nowadays. I've been talking to a couple of people, even some recruiters, and they're telling me the same thing. Difficult market. Is ageism real? Look it up, it is. But everything's real, right? Do you have the proper degree? What is it that you have to be? Where's the perfect person? They're saying that over half the applications don't even get looked at. They're getting so many. So very, very tough. So update on that real quick. This vlog today is about closing doors, and I'll explain. Closing doors, because it's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you think. It sure made me think. A little bug right there. Not a beautiful trail outside today. Feel really good because I've closed a few doors. You don't want to leave them open. So the other day I had this interview since the last video. Third interview with the company, still no job offer. And they wanted me to write a 20-page report. 20 pages. A presentation of how I felt about the job, what I'd do, why I'd make a difference. And I did it. But I was sitting there, well, stand-up desk, sit-down desk, whatever. And I'm putting this report together, and I realized something. If they want this 20-page report just for me to get into the third interview, what's the job going to be like? Don't be afraid to ask questions. I asked the questions. And that job was going to be a grind. And I'm not going to do the grind. We talked about it here. I'm not going to get in that kind of a job. I'm looking for something that's going to fit what I do best. The part-time, the freedom, just for a small period of time until I retire. That's going to be it. 63, a couple months before. But that's what I was looking at. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I almost did it. And I was stressed about it. So you know what I did? I called the recruiter and I said, hey, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. This to me is an indicator of the company. It just was not the right fit. The money wasn't there. And I'm putting myself back in that grind that I promised I would not do. And that's what this channel is about. The freedom. I want that freedom. I just needed to do a job for a little while. Just for a little while. Finish the debt. Get it paid off. But I'm still going to wait. I'm still paying off the debt, but a little bit slower till that job happens and I can really crank. Right now, I turned it down. And sometimes you have to do those things if it's not right. We force ourselves into a job that we don't like and we're not happy. And it doesn't matter how much money you make, you're just in misery again. So I closed that door. There's the segue into closing doors. Closing doors in your life is extremely important at any age, but especially getting into retirement. Because an open door means stress. You know that little voice in the back of your head when you get up in the morning and you say, goodness, I've got a tire on my vehicle and it leaks air every once in a while and I go put air in it and no big deal. I put air in it again, it's no big deal. Why don't you just go and get the tire fixed? Find out why it's losing air, fix it, get it off your plate. It's done, it's over with. You closed the door. Financially, at any age, but especially towards retirement, close the door. Pay off the debt. It stresses you out every day. You're worried about it. So you get up and I can't do anything about it. I owe too much money. You could pay that extra $10 on that credit card and not use it. Make the decision, instead of thinking about it all the time, close the door. The more open doors we have in our life, the more stress we create. The more things that we have in our life with open doors, it just creates chaos throughout the day because you'll be having the best day ever. And then reality hits you in the face at the end of the day. I didn't do anything for my future. I didn't do anything that I was supposed to do knowing in the back of your mind you're supposed to. We have to close the doors. Whether it's getting out of the career you don't want, you hate it, you don't like it, close the door, find something else, move on. Don't continue to do the same thing over and over again. And you crank and you crank and you crank. It'll make you crazy. You'll lose time. A month's going to go by. 6 months is going to go by. A year's going to go by. You're going to be exactly where you were. Take my advice. 62. Has there been things that I did not close the door on? And have they came up and I said, you know what? Why didn't I just pay attention to it? Why didn't I just fix the problem? And now I have. I'm not doing it anymore. I've done a lot of that. But my advice, as a younger me, I used to wake up at 50. Heck, at 45, I'd wake up. And I'd say to myself, what about retirement? I haven't put any money away. What am I going to do? I don't have a plan. What do we do to fix those problems? And I realized recently more than ever, but even a couple years ago, I close the doors. If there's something I need to do, I get it done and off my plate. Because an open door will come back and haunt you every day. You don't want to think about it every day. You owe a debt, past due, whatever. Have somebody that's collections, you have a collection, they call you, get it handled. Take the call, get it handled. Whatever it may be, you owe taxes, make a plan, get them paid. Because if you don't, interest. If you don't, garnishments, they're going to get you. They know you're there. They're going to find you. You can't keep putting it off. One day, the reverse of the debt snowball or avalanche of paying things off, it'll go the opposite direction, and all that debt's going to come back on you in that stress. Close the doors. If you say, I'm going to retire, and what am I going to do because my payments on my property, my rent is too high, whatever it is, start thinking now about how to minimalize and how to lower your rent. That's your biggest expense you're going to have. The biggest. So if you have a plan between now and retirement, or maybe, even 5 years ago, you should have been thinking about it, but now you can execute. A lot of people have to move. They have to move out of their area, and they have to find a different house that's lower, less expensive, whatever it is. Tough decisions to make, right? But it's your life. You have to make sure that you do it and make your life better, more affordable. If your Social Security is not going to be able to cover it with the rent you're paying now, what's your plan? Do you have a house with a ton of equity and you don't know, you can't really afford it, you still have a payment on it going into retirement, and that payment's going to be out of control? Do we need to sell, take equity, buy a different house, use the equity as part of your retirement plan? That's up to you. Each person is in a different financial situation. Close doors, especially when we start thinking about where we're going to live, because that's going to be a huge expense. What about cars? Cars are expensive. Are you going to have a payment going into retirement, or are you going to pay it off and only have the maintenance? Because when you own a car with payments, you have maintenance and you have the car. A lot of people move to an area that really, they use public transportation and they get rid of their car completely. And they live in a nice area, so they don't have to worry about it. Some of you have chimed in on that. There's move to a less expensive area, use public transportation, you don't need a car, your debt goes way down, your monthly spend way down, gas prices, whatever it may be. So those things are huge. And that's part of debt. That's closing the door. Don't leave so many doors open. Because if you do, and you know what I'm talking about, we all have some, or we've had some. In the back of our mind, there's doors or things we know we should be working on, things we know we should be doing that we're not doing. And I'm going to get into this. This could be very personal for some. Maybe it'll touch some of you, maybe some of you not. Relationships with family and friends. These are extremely important. And we know who we are as humans in society. We have friends that maybe are close, but maybe they're not as close as they used to be. Maybe something happened. Don't leave that door open. We have to close it. You're not going to be a friend and the relationship's over, but never think, if you did something wrong, mend it, correct it. Because you don't want that burden of that hanging over your head of maybe a relationship as you go later in years at any age really, that your friendship doesn't exist because of one thing or a grudge that you held, something that happened that's pretty minimal. Family. How many family members do we have out there that we had maybe an argument with or a disagreement with, and then we don't talk to them? We don't share our feelings. We can't do that anymore because we closed that door the wrong way. We want to leave some doors open in relationship to be able to communicate, but not communicating and leaving that door open with family members upset with you, friends. Those things are undone. That's that open door I'm talking about. Don't sit and stew about, should I have done something different? Should I do something different in the future? Should I have done something in the past different? You know in your heart of hearts, if you were in the wrong, sometimes you just have to swallow that pill and build that relationship back, because those relationships are extremely important. That's what I'm talking about closing the doors. But this channel is about that. What I did in the doors I'm closing. The other day I woke up again after the video, I was feeling really good. I woke up, why am I stressed? And I realized with looking for a part-time job and had an interview, I'm like, that's the wrong kind of job. I just accepted it because somebody finally wanted to interview me. I'm like, I'm going right back down the rabbit hole into this crazy world of working high stress. Promised myself I wouldn't do it. I promised you I wouldn't do it, and I didn't. So now, unbelievable, I got a phone call for a consulting position. That's exactly what I want, and I'm working out the details now. Because I closed the other door and focused on calling a friend. And they made a recommendation, and it's working. That's why I'm having this conversation about closing doors. Do not leave doors open. Fear comes in. Do not leave doors open. Regret comes in. Do not leave doors open. Panic comes in. Don't leave doors open, because the older you get, disaster can come in. Cut it off before it happens. This one's a little longer. I just had a lot to say about that. I think it's important. I so hope you're enjoying the channel. I really enjoy the comments. I think I've got back to everyone, and I just love it. Everybody's ideas, opinions. Great people in there. Thank you so much. And that's really what I had to say today. I've got some great stuff coming up that I've been going through as well. I've been grinding every day to make my life better, my family's life better, and less stress. I hope you do the same every day. Do something good for yourself. Do something for others, and great things will happen. We'll see you in the next one.